Good morning, students. On Tuesday, we talked briefly about this assignment, but not very much. So I just wanted to give you a brief video on explaining this orally and also on kind of me going through this assignment. That way you have a better idea of what I am looking for this assignment. So you read on their assignment 0.9, there was an assignment about what is chemistry. It is the study of matter, but what is matter? I want this challenge for you, this assignment for you is for you to prove whether or not water and air are matter. So you need to think about how is something considered to be matter? So in order to do this assignment, I've given you some brief instructions here of what you need to do for this assignment to get credit. So first off, I'm just going to focus mostly right now on part one, which is just determining whether or not water is matter. But know that for full credit on the assignment, you need to do both part one on water and part two on air. So first off, you need to make sure that you write a hypothesis. I've given you in your assignment, if you scroll down, a hypothesis. You need to fill in your answer on this assignment. What is matter? If water is matter, then something. If water is not matter, then something. So you're just choosing one of these, determining whether you believe water to be matter or not. Then you need to write a procedure to prove whether or not water is matter or not matter. So you'll need to write a materials list of what you would need in order to prove that water is matter or not. And then this will be your procedure part of how are you going to use each of these materials. So that'll be your step 2. Step 3, you need to complete the actual challenge. You need to complete the procedure where you're either going to take pictures and upload them to this document or complete a Flipgrid. So I'm going to scroll down here to the data collection. So you need at least, if you're doing the picture, you need at least one picture of your experimental setup, at least one picture of how you're collecting your data. So you'd insert those pictures here, or making a Flipgrid, and you'll just click on that Flipgrid. If I click click here, I'll bring you to Flipgrid. I'll ask you to log in with your Google. So you only have the option to use your school account. You cannot use a personal account for your Matter Not Matter challenge. So that'll be your data collection part. I don't expect these videos to be longer than 1.5 minutes, so please know that it does not have to be super long. And then last part is going to be your conclusion. When you're done, you must write a conclusion to prove whether or not each thing is matter or not. So Annette, know that I'm not just going to throw you into the abyss of writing a conclusion. I know it's been a minute since you've written a conclusion. I know you wrote conclusions for physics last year. So I'm going to scroll down here to your conclusion. So you've got some sentence frames that you're absolutely be able to use if you wanted to, essentially. Just like copy paste this and put it into here. That would be considered to be proficient. So you'll have your conclusion of determining whether or not you believe water to be matter or not. So that is about the gist. If you want to see how I'm scoring this, so see bottom of the document for the scoring guide. I'm going to scroll all the way through part 2. So part 2 is also about air. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, here is your scoring guide. So for a 4, you need to complete part 1 and 2, and that means that all of the parts are complete. So for a 4, and then your data collection, all of your images are uploaded or the Flipgrid is complete and clear, and the conclusion is written. The main thing that is different between a 3 and a 4 is that something is maybe mostly clear. But then one of the thing is the step 4 being exceeding that proficiency is that you have extended beyond the sentence frame suggested. You've written a little bit more in that conclusion than what I have offered. So a level 2.5, if you wanted just a 2.5 on this assignment, all you need to do is part 1 or part 2. So know that you need to complete at least one part, and the images, one thing, I want to make sure that you know that you still need to do the images and just images or the Flipgrid in order to complete that part. And if your conclusion is somewhat unclear, so this zone, the 2.5 to the 3, the main thing between the 2.5 and the 3 is that you are just doing one part. Below 2.5, I'll extend that out a little bit. Below the 2.5, you have just partially completed this assignment. So that means either a 0 if I have no evidence, or a 1.5 if you've just barely done anything. So that's a bit for you, and hopefully that helped you understand what I'm expecting for this assignment. Please reach out on the Remind or email if you need help. I do have some more one-on-one meetings today, so please reach out at any point during your third period SGI-AL time today, or at any point. So I appreciate you, and we will be in touch.